Obviously, there was no way to get to the bottom of any of the actual like talking points with that guy, right? Because he was like that. You know, anytime you would get him on a point, he'd just be like, okay, so like you've agreed with a Jew on something. Why didn't you call him not white? I mean, I said Martinez in a pretty suggestive fashion. Anyway, post-debate wrap-up. Obviously, that was a lot of fun. That guy was, like, totally fucking brain dead. Like, there's no way to really get to the root of an argument or a point with somebody like that, because if you ever get him on a point, he'll, like, if he'll just say something, like, flagrantly wrong. Like, for example, it was when he brought up that study on unionization, which ended up showing, like, actually, it's actually, like, racial agitation, like, from white people or stuff like that tends to prevent unionization in more racially diverse areas, where he was just like, okay, well, like, that's actually more proof we should separate. It's kind of like, it's like a feedback loop where he's scum of the earth, and because he's scum of the earth, like, he's around other people who are also scum of the earth, and he notices that people who are scum of the earth tend to cause social problems, and the social problems, like, he's like, well, we need to fix this by, like, giving us power so that other people don't react to us being scum of the earth, you know? Do you think he played football? His brain was absolute mush. I just wish I could have gotten more, like, the heart of any of these points, but there wasn't, like, there wasn't anything to get at the heart of it. You know what I mean? Look at this, please. What
Hey,
is
listen
this?
to my rap, man. Listen to this shit.
Go ahead.
Yo, my name be LaShawn. I'm a hood rat from Chimp Congo. I ain't never got no money, so I's got to borrow. But no bank will lend to me. They say I'm high risk. Then when I pull up on the block, racist cops do stop and frisk.
Oh, okay, that's enough. Okay, I've said this before, and this remains like a really, really, really good litmus test, okay? If somebody claims to be predominantly pro-white or something, they're not. Because a person who's pro-white, like, really, would be pro-white in the same way that pro-black people are pro-black. Talk to a person who advocates for black rights in America, like a black guy or whatever, and overwhelmingly, they're going to be like, yeah, we have to, like, stand up to police racism. We need to address housing policy. We need to address economic inequality. It's about institutionally correcting issues that make their lives worse. But these guys don't give a shit about white people. They just hate non-white people. That's it. That's literally it. That's literally the only actual position that they have. All of their politics are oriented around this. It's you can see this with trans people as well. It's like, you know how people will pretend to have principled beliefs on trans people? Like, oh, I'm not transphobic, but I just think it's harmful to them to blah, 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 you know? But then if you go look at the forums that they're in, they're like saying tranny this, tranny that, like 41%, kill yourself, whatever. Whenever bigotry is a component of the belief system set by a person's ideology, it's reasonable to assume that they mean the most malicious version of the ideology that they hold. Does that make any sense? Does everyone understand what I'm trying to say here? Yeah, because historically, pro-black activists have been advocates for white people in their area. Fred Hampton, the Rainbow Coalition, working with, like, white Southerners to, like, try to build a coalition for making the world better, trying to, like, advocate for better housing policy and anti-capitalism that would benefit, you know, like, everyone affected, stuff like that. MLK as well. Yeah. Historically, the best advocates for, like, black people have been, you know, working in line with and sympathetic to white people who also have, you know, systemic issues that need redressing. If nothing else, Vaush made Andrew laugh so hard several times. Well, it just bothers me. Like, I guess maybe this is a product of the great deplatforming or whatever, but that guy was so fucking low IQ. He wasn't even witty or whatever. I'm normally willing to have, like, a good faith back and forth or whatever. I mean, I'm always open to that from the beginning, but, like past a certain point, you're essentially, it's an insult, like, to the very nature of online debate to approach a conversation while being that stupid. He felt really slow and sluggish when trying to come up with rebuttals. Yeah, it's I insulted him a bunch of times too. Magic Dirt Theory, Far-Right Dog Whistle tries to mock the idea that a person's behavior comes their environment, not their genetics. I really like that as a far-right dog whistle because it really is, like, telling on how fucking retarded they are, right? Like, you, a sociologist, are like, yeah, well, the environment that a person's in can affect their outcomes, as evidenced by all data ever, and also common sense and everything, like, all the universe points to this conclusion. And then a Nazi's like, so you think the dirt underneath their feet is magic? Okay, you know, like that really, like, I guess, I that really, like, shows it up right there, doesn't it? I mean, that really indicates, like, the quality of discourse that we're kind of locked into. I thought it was about golems. Oh, I don't, you know, fucking whatever. I like how that guy was trying to, like, do the JQ thing, and it ended up being like the not heart wait, the wait, is it the Hart-Celler Act? Oh God, my brain. The Immigration Act, 1965. Yeah, Hart-Celler. Yeah, Hart-Celler. Okay, just making sure I'm not mixing it up. Where he was like, the Jews did this, and at the end his position was like, a Jewish group lobbied. As the titanic power of the American Jew truly is the might of the tribes of Israel felt in the American political system when they have the legal right to lobby just like every other person. God. It's funny you had this debate on Yom Kippur. Is it Yom Kippur? Oh, didn't even realize. Okay then. Yeah, Mazel Tov for all my Jewish brothers and sisters. I do this for you. Dude opened with a bunch of quotes and studies, then was kicking himself when you did that because he couldn't just... Well, the problem is, first of all, he didn't really open with, like, studies, I think. But, like, he didn't argue... He'd never made an ethical argument! The closest thing he did to making an ethical argument was the idea that there would be fewer internal conflicts if everyone lived in an ethno-state. But then he said he's fine with other countries being ethno-states, and he only just wants some countries to not be ethno-states. But then he said he wants every place to be for the people who were there ancestrally, but then he said he wants white people in South Africa. Just completely brain dead. No thoughts whatsoever. He said he was fine with Brazil being multicultural too. Well, he was lying when he said that. If he thinks that white people in South Africa should be able to form a separate ethno-state, then why would he not also believe that, like, the Castizos in Brazil could not form their own? Castizos, I'm using that, right? That's the descendants of white, applied to the offspring of a union of a Spaniard and a mestiza. Oh no, then I would be thinking of the Spaniards, the descendants of the colonizers, the white people in Brazil, you know? If you can argue for a white ethno-state in parts of South Africa, then you would have to in parts of Brazil as well if they wanted it. There's plenty of racial animus in Brazil. His Russia-Ukraine take was really weird. None of it was even coherent enough for me to argue with, really. Okay, hold on. I see someone in YouTube chat because they always come over. I came into this open-minded, but Vaush would not allow a proper debate to develop. This will add to Trump's support. That sounds like a fucking template message you would get in like a Civ game or something. I came here neutral, but I did not like your anti-racist arguments. You will fear the +1 to right wing. Yeah. Actual NPCs. Fuck. God damn. Nice debate, big guy. Why did he keep calling me big guy? Is that meant to be like an own? I didn't know if I should make fun of him for that, but just letting him call me big guy already felt like I was on top. I don't know. I mean, why didn't you counter with little guy? Because I felt like that'd be like rubbing it in. I already felt like I had the own. I don't know. He's like owning me in a debate by he's trying to discombobulate me by like sucking my dick during the debate or something. I'm like, oh my God, how do I respond to this tactic? Someone in YouTube chat asks, Vaush, why do you think racists like him push so hard against everyone treating each other with respect? And the answer to that is fear. It's fear and disgust, which are two emotional responses conservatives have been proven to experience more strongly than us. There's something wrong with their brains. I actually mean that this time. They have a very strong fear and disgust response, which provokes tribalism and xenophobia in ways that we don't really like feel to the same extent. We all feel variants of this, but they far more so. I mean, racists are literally lower IQ on average. Again, I will bring that up whenever I feel like it because it's very funny to me. It's complicated. That guy was showing his ass the entire debate. He's afraid of people other than him being in power because he's worried they will do identical things to him that were done to them historically. No, it's not even that. Because he thinks that the past century of America has been Jewish influence. He can never have any power in his mind. This is the fearful mind of the fascist. They must always be the victim of a plot. The fascist can only truly attain power in short bursts and in contextual battles. Power cannot be attained by the fascist institutionally and permanently, because to do so would rid them of the emotional impetus of fascism, which is fear. If you have the power, you have nothing to fear. So the fascists can never believe themselves in power. The Nazis said that the country was controlled by, international Jewish interests. So the Nazis controlled the country and killed their Jews and displaced them from power. But they're still not truly in power. Even though Hitler was in complete control of Germany, they were still not in charge because they were being victimized by international Jewish finance, which is one of the things which warranted, in their mind, the conflict. The fascist needs an enemy, and the enemy must pose a great risk to them. Always. Always, always, always. There cannot be an exception to this. Look at the language of fascists. Have you ever heard a fascist describe a minor problem? Really think. Ever in your life have you heard a fascist identify a problem and say, it's not that big of a deal? Perhaps with their plumbing, not with the world. When it comes to social problems, all problems are apocalyptic. They have to be, because the fear has to keep channeling through them. Fascists are very weak people. This is kind of comforting. Fascism won't ever last long then. That is true. It is an inherently self-destructive system, but it can do a lot of damage as it cycles through itself. Its unsustainability is a point in our favor. It is an advantage for us, but that does not mean that it should not be feared. Also, Homeboy should get checked for heavy metal poisoning. There's a chance his opinion are just tragedy written in mercury vapor. It is not untrue that conspiracism and fear-based politics can correspond to some types of brain damage. We saw that with the Alex Jones types. I didn't even have that much fun insulting him because he didn't even get that animated. I was hoping he would get more mad. He got more mad towards the end. Come on, he brought up the pedo stuff. He was seething. He just didn't show it. Oh, he was internally seething, but he's a coward. They're all cowards. They never just say what they believe, right? It's always, we're simply advocating for the right to white people to exist. He's literally pro-Hitler, you know? He wants death camps. He wants gas chambers. That's what he wants. We're just fighting for the right to exist. You know, it's fucking cowards, man.